Hello everybody, welcome to Immortal Engines and yet another video on the Honda EU3000is. I am trying to make as many videos as I can with this generator before I go ahead and get rid of it. So on this one, I'm going to be showing you how to do a service on it. If you have had the generator stored for the winter, chances are you probably need to do these things to make sure it runs smoothly for camping or working in the summer or spring. I don't know, up to you. But there's going to be a link in the video description showing you the parts that you'll need to do this. It's pretty straightforward. It shouldn't take more than 30 minutes. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video. Let me show you how to do this properly. So now, if you're going for a full service on this at home, first clean the carburetor if it doesn't run good. If it runs good, maybe not. So you did the carburetor. Now we can shut it off. Let's remove this air box right here. Just unclip it. It has 4 clips, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. Then work it out of there. There you go. Okay, here's the plastic. Here's the air filter. On this one, we're looking, this is brand new, if you ask me. So reinsert your air filter. If it's dirty, this is a good time to go and buy a new one. Reinsert the lid. These clips are pretty strong. Maybe you want to use something to reach back there. There you go. It's nice and tight. Next up on the service list is removing the spark plug. So go ahead and grab a Phillips. Pull this lid right here. I bet some of you didn't know that's where the spark plug lived, huh? You're gonna pull this right here. You're gonna insert your spark plug socket. Whoa, guys. The spark plug is loose. That is not right. I didn't have to break the spark plug loose. Well, that's not a huge worry, but you know, whoever did the service on this weren't good at it. So we go ahead and check our spark plug. This one actually looks like it's fairly new. So in my case, I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in. If you remove this, you need to get a filler gauge and check your gap clearance. I'm gonna put the gap clearance somewhere around the screen of the video. If it's not that, then maybe it's just easier to go to your nearest retailer that sells Honda generator parts. Perhaps maybe where you bought your generator from. And it's a good idea to buy a spark plug or two. And it's also a good idea to buy the air filter so you can just change it. Also, right there they can sell you the oil, but it's not necessary to buy Honda oil. Any 10W30 oil will do. Just make sure not to mix synthetic and non-synthetic. That's not a good idea. So when you put the spark plug in, put it in by hand. Do not use power tools and do not use your wrench. You want to put it in by hand. If you cross thread, you cross thread the head. And yeah, a new head for this engine is not cheap. You don't want to make that mistake. So once it's hand tight, you insert this and you tighten it, but you don't go crazy. So see, I feel resistance already. And you want to make sure you're crushing. I forgot to show you, but the spark plug has like a crush washer. It needs to be pressed hard for it to create a good seal. That way you don't lose compression. So heck, if anything, now that it's tight, maybe it'll run a little bit better. So you clean the carburetor, maybe change the air filter if you needed to, check your spark plug and possibly replace it. You want to reinstall this guy right here. It's very important because it needs this to be sealed for the cooling to work perfectly, especially in those hot days. You want to turn on your air conditioner on your RV. So we're ready to close this lid right here. We're ready to close this lid right here. And next, what we're gonna do before I run out of battery is we're gonna start the generator, and we're gonna let it warm up for about 5 minutes. If it's really cold, maybe let it run for 10 minutes so that the oil gets hot and really light and it flows out of the crankcase easily and quickly so that we can perform an oil change. And that should be it. After checking the spark plug, changing the oil and air filter, and possibly cleaning the carburetor, there's not a lot more that can go wrong with this generators. They're very reliable. So let's go ahead and warm up the engine. Okay guys, after running the generator for about 10 minutes, it's time to perform the oil change. For that, I recommend that you have one of these long thin funnels and 10W30 motor oil. The synthetic one is not absolutely necessary because you should change your oil every 100 or 150 hours, no more than that. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this generator. Let's open this right here. And on this particular generator, it looks like we will need a 10mm socket. Okay guys, so when I perform an oil change, what I like to do is I like to get one of these cooking pans to catch the oil. So let's see what this oil looks like. Actually, you probably want to put it like this because it might shoot out. Sometimes the oil has some gasoline in it when you can't get it started, so it's gonna definitely come out with more than it should have in there. Ooh, okay, that's some pretty thick oil. Nothing to be horrified about, but it's definitely not the cleanest. So I'm gonna lower it to the ground like so. And I don't totally recommend this, but if you want to get it all out, it doesn't hurt to tilt it. So be very careful not to knock it over. There you go. And that looks like is it for this generator. And we're going to reinsert our drain plug. May want to grab the wrench for this one because it does have a crush washer. Don't go overboard with this because you're going to strip the aluminum casing. Next, you're going to grab your dipstick. You want to wipe it clean. You don't want any oil residue on it. You're gonna put that aside. It's time to fill. Before you fill, if it is used, when you leave oil in it, obviously you're not gonna be able to clean it in there. Make sure it doesn't have a whole lot of dirt and contaminants. You wanna make sure it's clean. This one, I keep it clean, so that shouldn't be a problem. So we're gonna go ahead and fill this puppy up. I think, yep, I think it's about full. Yep, that looks full to me. The moment I remove this, it's gonna overflow. Let's see if that happens. Yeah, I can already see it overflowing right there. Okay. So, that's oil. We're gonna grab our dipstick. It's a little bit overfilled, but hey, I never had a problem with it being slightly overfilled. It's better than not having enough oil. Now, don't go crazy and tilt it and fill it, because then you're gonna have problems. So make sure it's sitting on a flat surface when you do this. Now we're gonna reinstall our lid right here. Last thing you want to check is when you start your generator, it does have an oil alert. An oil alert means you don't have enough oil in it, so it should not blink this light. Maybe it will because it just got emptied and refilled. Maybe there's some air in the oil sensor, but you shouldn't have that light. So let's go ahead and pull the choke, put it on, and hit start. If you performed all these steps, that means you successfully prepared your generator for going camping this summer, or maybe going to work. We got the air filter checked or changed. We checked the spark plug or changed it, and we did indeed change the oil because it's looking very sorry down there. You don't want to have that in your generator if you run it at any time. So how often do you check this stuff? It's safe if you're in a dusty environment. It's good to check your air filter every 100 hours or so. Your spark plug, that might last a little longer. You can actually do that every 3 oil changes or something like that. And how often should you change your oil? Well, believe it or not, you should change your oil every 100 hours, maybe 150. That's how you get these generators to last a really long time. I know a lot of people that have extremely worn out engines on fairly new generators, and that's simply because they pour oil in them once and then they never changed it again. You definitely don't want to do that. These things are very costly. You need to take care of them. Take care of your money. Alrighty, if this video was helpful, please be sure to hit the like button, comment, and please hit the subscribe button right there in the corner. That will help me a lot, and you can keep up to date with all of my generator tips and tricks so that you can keep these things running for a really, really long time. Thank you for stopping at Immortal Engines. See you on the next one.